Of New York.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have an amendment at the desk.
Clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment offered by Mr. Tonko of New York. Page 23, line 4, after the dollar amount, insert following. Increased by $226,800,000. Page 33, line 20, after the dollar amount, insert the following. Reduced by $226,800,000.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to thank my colleague, the gentleman from New Hampshire, Mr. Bass, for offering this bipartisan amendment with me. He is a leader on energy issues, and I thank him for his support. Mr. Chair, the Tonko Bass amendment is simple. It will restore 3 specific results-driven energy efficiency programs within the fiscal year 2012 Energy and Water Development Appropriations Bill to last year's levels. It is neither a stretch nor an overreach. It is a balanced approach and is fully offset. That is why I would like to ask unanimous consent to submit this letter of support for the record.
Most requests will be covered by general leave.
The following companies, organizations, and associations all support the amendment and speak to its broad impact: the Dow Chemical Company, the Alliance to Save Energy, Johnson Controls, Natural Resources Defense Council, and approximately 75 more. I would also like to ask unanimous consent to submit 2 additional letters of support for the record, one from the Southern States Energy Board and another from the United States Green Building Council.
The gentleman's request is
covered
by general leave.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, this amendment will restore funding to the Weatherization Assistance Program, or WAP. WAP is the largest residential efficiency program in our nation. It reduces the energy burden on low-income families, the elderly and disabled, and creates jobs, invests in local businesses, and advances technology, state-of-the-art technology. The 35% energy savings as a result of rising homes under this program saves $437 in annual utility bills for the average homeowner. Second, the amendment restores funding to the State Energy Program, or SEP. SEP is the only cost-shared program administered by the United States Department of Energy that provides resources directly to the states for allocation by the governor for use in energy efficiency. This includes 56 state and territory energy offices, and according to a study by the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, for every $1 in federal SEP funds, annual savings of 1.03 million source BTUs are saved, along with the cost savings of $7.22 and a leveraging of $10.71 on that same $1. Finally, the Tonko Bass Amendment restores funding to the Building Technologies Program. Buildings in the United States use about 40% of our total energy and 2/3 of our electricity. As such, this program seeks to promote American innovation and technologies to reduce operating costs to building owners, which is vital in today's market. Finally, Mr. Chair, this amendment has a net impact of $0 on budget authority and reduces 2012 outlays by $58 million, according to the Congressional Budget Office. It does so by offsetting the increase in spending with cuts to the Weapons Activities account, specifically to the Readiness and Technical Base Facilities account. The Appropriations Committee report suggests they are seriously concerned with the recent cost growth reported for construction of 2 major projects in the account. The committee report claims modernization will take several years, and the considerable number of variables still at play argues against an excessively aggressive funding curve. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I wish to close by saying I do not believe we can afford to slip any further behind our global competitors in energy investments. A vote for this amendment is a vote in favor of decreasing our dependence on foreign oil, creating local, private sector contracting jobs, and providing state control on energy projects. Again, I would like to commend the gentleman from New Hampshire for his leadership on this issue and thank him for his support. I urge adoption of this amendment and yield back the remainder of my time.
Gentleman yields his time. Gentleman from New Jersey.
Mr. Chairman, I move to strike the last word and rise in opposition to the amendment.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
In order to increase funding for this energy efficiency and renewable account, the gentleman's amendment again suggests we decrease funding for weapons activities. As I said earlier, the modernization of the nuclear complex is critical, a critical national security priority, and must be funded reductions of this magnitude would be unacceptable and impact our ability and our nuclear security strategy. These reductions in the nuclear account would be to increase for energy and efficiency and renewable accounts, primarily in the area of weatherization in the state energy program. For your information, these two programs have $3.4 billion in unspent funds from the 2009 stimulus, and a full $2.7 billion is expected to be available for use in fiscal year 2012. They don't need any more money. The Department of Energy needs to get the money out of the door, and if they aren't capable, they need to make sure the states that have received money get money out of the door. So I, therefore, oppose the amendment.
For what purpose, gentleman from New Hampshire rise?
I move to strike the last word, Mr.
Gentleman's
Chairman.
recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. As much as it pains me to oppose the position of my good friend from the state of New Jersey, I rise in support of this very amendment and want to thank my friend from New York for his sponsorship of it. As he mentions, it raises the Weatherization Assistance Program by about $141 million, the State Energy Program by $25 million, and the Buildings Technology Program by $60 million, basically to level fund it at the 2011 level. And it's offset, as was mentioned, by a reduction of an increase in the Nuclear Security Administration's weapons activities, which would make that line item level funded as well. And I believe, as has been said by my friend from Indiana as well as my friend from New Jersey, that the weapons activities programs are laudable, especially as they relate to the safety and security of our weapons stockpile. But I think level funding at 2011 levels is adequate. And when you look at the weatherization programs and what they do, you can't dispute it. Low-income individuals cannot afford to spend money on efficiency. It's just not possible. Yet when they do, it has a positive impact on all sorts of other programs, one of which is LIHEAP. As was mentioned by my friend from New York, these programs pay back on the order of $7, $8, $9, $10, $11 to $1 spent, not only in savings to low-income individuals, but also to the federal government. This is good for the economy. It puts people to work. It's good for energy efficiency and lessening our security on our dependence on foreign sources of oil, and it does contribute to the long-term national energy goals for this country as I see them. So all that Mr. Tonko and I are looking for is level funding for fiscal year 2011 for both the nuclear weapons program as well as the weatherization program, the energy program, and the building technology program, which benefits so many people in so many different parts of America. So I urge adoption of this amendment, and I yield back.
The gentleman from New York.
I move to strike the last word for a point of clarification.
Well, the gentleman asked for unanimous consent.
Pardon?
Without objection. The gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Just to point out the statutory deadline for the weatherization program and the state energy program is in March 31st of any given year, in this case 2012. So, of course, it's not all spent yet. There is expected to be an accelerated spending on these investments that are made. The drawdown on those monies will come in an accelerated way, but also the intent was a 3-year spend out. And I think if we pull the rug out from these job creators at this stage, we stand to reduce employment among our private sector contractors, our builders and renovators. I think that this program, what I had seen in New York, especially with the state energy programs, had a 3-year waiting list. There is a great bit of good that comes with this program, and I would think that there's everyone in this chamber is well served by investment in this program. I withdraw my request and yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Questions on the amendment by the gentleman offered by the gentleman from New York. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to.
Mr. Chair,
Gentleman from New York.
I move for a recorded vote.
Pursuant to Clause 6, Rule 18, further proceedings